Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sexier Me class. It's going to be a delightful class on clearing and helping you to really enjoy your experiences as a woman with your sexuality. So if you've got a partner or don't have a partner or want a partner and are a little concerned about your sexual comfort zone, or if you've had some trauma in the past and it really inhibits how much you enjoy sexuality, or if you're one of those gals who hasn't experienced orgasm, we're going to be working on all of those things today, all the kind of taboo. Should we talk about those? Yes, we definitely should talk about those. And get your girly equipment all in better fine tune. So this is Adelia. If you're new to our classes, Adelia is my daughter. She's on all our classes. Babies bring purity and love and angelic presence and helpers. So Adelia is with us in every class. You're going to hear her cooing and gurgling and making her baby sounds, playing in the background as we do our class. She's bored with mommy already. So welcome everybody to the class. It's going to be a wonderful class, and I love these special classes that really help us move forward in our core, in our essence, in who we are, in our deepest parts. Oh my goodness, we have the wrong one showed up. Sorry about that. We taught that class yesterday. Let's get that one off the screen altogether so that doesn't show up again. How did that show up? Hey. Oh, I see. I see what happened. There it is. Okay. And we're just going to pop up to the top of this. We've got a bunch of different clearings we're going to be doing today. So the Sexier Me class you're in. And we'll start with the love wisdom affirmation, go into removing the obstacles for the day, do our demonstration, and get started on our pumping. We have a couple beautiful hours to spend together, and going to do some really powerful work together today. I am free to live a life of spiritual freedom and full self-expression, liberated in love, gratitude, and mastery in this body here and now. My spirit is limitless. I am responsible for any limits I experience in this body and have complete access to the divine through prayer and contemplation to release myself from any human bonds I've worn as spiritual clothing that no longer resonate with my essence. Vakaratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurme Devo Sarva Kayeshu Sarvada. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parad Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Aim Saraswatiye Swaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And in this class, we're going to be clearing dark energies and programs for failure, clearing domination, controlling, and suppressing energies from this life and past lives, clearing grief, can't feel pleasure, can be safe, protected, and experience extreme pleasure, cleaning out and regenerating the pleasure mechanisms in the key areas, clitoris, G-spot, uterus, and vaginal wall, and then restoring your juices if you become dried and closed off. And then the first one that we're going to be doing is the removal of dark energies and programs for failure. So if you wanted to get started on this clearing, right permission and ability to be clear of sexual failure programs, traumas, and dark energies, removing the impact of sexual trauma, grief, domination, suppression, and control. And you can see there's a nice big list: bloodline, demonic curses, Lucifer stops, evil spirit curses, karma, trauma, atheist thought forms, miasms, control energy, contracts, resentment, unforgiveness, greed, disappointment, bitterness, down, frightened, irritated, lonely, overwhelmed, stressed, distressed, sorrow, grief, desire, crushed, frustration, envy, shame, wormholes, auditory scions, reticulin B, holographic inserts, and DNA splicing are the anchors, burrowers, embedding, DNA splicing, draconian, embedding and permeations, iguana, holographic inserts, and nanotechnology, implants, DNA splicing, demons, and that's a separate one. Demons are permeations and holographic inserts. Put an N there. And let's see, so we've got ghosts, walk-ins, permeations, and snakes, mechanisms, and wormholes. And of course, I'm going to be doing a clearing for everybody on those walk-ins. So we'll get those all cleared out for you as we progress through the day. There we go. Oops, that's not going to make it any better. I thought it'd make it smaller, but it didn't. There we go. Okay, my dears. So we're going to go up to a demonstration, and then we'll do our welcome. Oh, so if you want to be working on clearing that, quantum platter would be really great to be using the quantum platter. Okay, and now we're going to come back on to do the demonstrations. And Adelia thinks that she wants to run the computer today, so she's trying to get to the keyboard. Aren't you? You're thinking, hey, I think I'm a big girl now. I think I want to push the buttons on the keyboard. I think that's what I want to do. So the quantum pump is the elbow down at the side and the hand pumping forward. This is the quantum pump. The quantum pump works because we're working with the quantum field, and we're rearranging how, yes, did we get a big spit up coming up? Yeah, we did. So we're rearranging how the particles are vibrating in the field. And so the quantum field, there are two kinds of physics. There's Newtonian physics, which is gravity and the apple falling from the tree, and kind of what we think of as a physics class. And then there's quantum physics. And quantum physics says we're all part of a field of particles vibrating. And based on how those particles are vibrating, you get a globe or an Adalia or a Julie Renee or a necklace or a swing or whatever. And what we're doing is we're setting an intention to, like, I'm clearing this, I'm removing this. And then with this hand movement, we're accessing the higher vibrations of the quantum field. So the pleasure field, the field above unconditional love. So that's the place where transformation really happens. And that's what we're doing. We're rearranging how the particles are vibrating so they vibrate in a better circumstance for you. I created this class last year, and I don't have a lover at this point, but I had an old boyfriend show up in my life last year, and I realized that after many years of not making love, my insides were not receptive to a sweetheart. So this class was also, created for myself, and certainly have gotten a nice, even though I don't have a lover right now, I went and had an exam, and she was like, oh, you're all open and juicy and moist. And she says, oh yeah, it'd be easy for you to have sex if you want a lover. So that's what the gynecologist was telling me, which I knew already. I knew that I had changed the circumstances on my inner workings. And so hopefully this year, Divine Complement shows up. February is all about love, and I've really made my declaration. And having a baby doesn't go hand in hand with a lot of dating or anything. So we'll see how it all goes. So we're pumping. So this is the quantum pump. The quantum platter looks like this. This is the one that I recommended for the first clearing. So it's a hand facing forward and the hand turning in. What we decided, hey, sweetie. Yeah. You just don't know what you want. She's up from her nap. She's already had a big breakfast, so she's not hungry and she's not tired, and she's not sure what she wants. So, do you want to go in the swing for a while? Go in the swing. There we go, big girl. All right, so so the platter is this. The double pump, well, she's not in my arms, is this. So this is a double pump where it's 2 hands pumping. That's the double pump. And if it's hard for you to keep your hands up like this, you can also put them down here. Can't go very far back because their playthings are there, but let me just see if I can. Yeah, I can. So you could also do this where it was much lower. So that would also be okay if that's easier for you to do instead of up here to do down here. I've had a few people say that their wrist or something was bothering them. And so I've been really looking at, given we have lots of people coming through the apprentice program at this point, which means they're pumping every day, giving them some choices that wouldn't hurt their arms or wrists if they were doing it hours a day. So, so you could do it this way too. All right, so we've looked at those couple, the pump, the double pump, the platter. If you were doing something discrete, it would be a little flutter right down here, just a little flutter. So at the side, that can be under the table. If you're out to dinner, it could be, you could use that for going for a walk. And you could clear yourself that way too. So that would be another one. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah? Okay, come on. I just think you want up, but you gotta kind of cooperate, okay? If you're up, you can't play with the computer. You just gotta sit up in mommy's arms. That's kind of what you gotta do. Okay, all right. Okay, so we've done our demonstration on the quantum pump. Muscle testing you're doing with the right hand, the ring finger, and the left hand, the pointer finger, and you're just pressing down. And so it's not side to side, it's not backwards, it's just pressing down. My name is Julie Renee, test is true. My name is Adelia Rose, test is false. So that is how we're getting all of our information. And you're gonna see we've got some big charts that we're gonna be clearing today. So a couple of them, including the one we just went through. So that'll be great. And then we also are going to be doing some regeneration of the female parts. So that's going to be amazing. Amazing. All right. Okay, so here we go. Going on to our next slide. Okay, and we did this slide already. And step 1, so step 1 is the removal of dark energy and programs for failure. And that is the first clearing. So at this point, we can welcome everybody and say good morning to everybody. And before we do, we're going to say good morning to the big girl here. And we're going to tell everybody her big news. Adelia is starting to sleep in her own bed. So last night, we have a portable crib up by the bed upstairs. She's probably a little bit kind of not knowing what to do, but she slept in her big girl bed by herself next to mommy's bed. And we had a couple hours where we were up, but she's starting to adjust to being in a big girl bed. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. It's okay. Yeah, if you throw your head under mama's shoulder, it might not feel so soft. And then also she got big girl shoes. You want to show everybody your big girl shoes? See? She got the big girl shoes. So she's starting to run across the room. She's running across the room in her little portable walker. So she's growing up. Okay, sweetie. All right. Now we're going to give people the chart and say, good morning, Adelia. Good morning, sweetie pie. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you. Mommy loves you so much. Okay, now we're going to look at everybody saying hello, and we're going to listen and hear about what challenges. Let's see, Diane, Christy, Paula, Cindy, Anneli, Anne, Penny Mae, Catherine, Saval. Hey, by the way, I want to congratulate you guys. You know what? I don't think it takes courage to come into my classes, but this is a topic that, you know, you're going to be in the chat box and talking candidly about your stuff. And I just want to praise and acknowledge you for being able to say, hey, I want this. I want to have everything juicy and wonderful, and I want to feel my very, very best. And, you know, I want to talk about this taboo subject because it's not taboo. It's just part of me. So congratulations on getting here. Okay. B and Joan and Brita and Trinity and Christy, good morning. Is it possible my challenges in this area stem from past lives? I'm not aware of sexual abuse in this lifetime, but tests that are occurring. Oh, absolutely, Christy. Past lives can set you up so that you don't feel feelings. Absolutely. And I do get past lives. About 50% of the issue is past lives for you. And Montana 22, hello everyone. I'd like some help to clear sexual abuse experiences that are still affecting me. Okay, we'll do that. AJ, good morning. And Colleen Madonna. Oh my goodness. You are a noisy girl today. Okay, so welcome everybody to the call. And we are pumping with this one. We're doing the quantum platter. What a noisy girl. What a noisy girl you are. Yeah. Okay, all right. Just do some pumping. I'm just going to go make a warm bottle for Adelia. That might make her feel happy. We'll be right back. Take us just a minute. Let's make a warm bottle. Should we make a warm bottle? Should we make a warm bottle of milk? Let's go get you some room. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Wonderful. Let me know if you're new to our call too, please. I'd love to know if I'm addressing anybody new, or I see all the old familiar names, so I'm so happy to see everyone. But if you're new to the call, just let me know so I can make sure that I take care of you. Can you check me also for sexual abuse, please? Many thanks. Do you mean in past lives, Penny Mae? I would assume that you would probably know about this life, but Penny Mae, sexual abuse in this life? No, in past lives. Well, if you do an overall past lives, there are abuses in past lives, Penny Mae. Hey there. So everybody is doing the quantum platter. Also, while we're clearing, I would like to encourage you, if you have never had an orgasm, and I'm just going to be candid on this and talk about it some, it's probably helpful to do some, personal experimentation, getting maybe a nice vibrator and some lubricant, and working with yourself. There'll be two areas of the body that can really feel extreme pleasure. The G-spot and the clitoris are the places where orgasm usually stem from. And some women have the ability to have an orgasm with their nipples stimulated too. And that stimulation traditionally, or would, is supposed to get your juices going. So as you're being stimulated, the fluid starts really flowing in the vaginal area. So that's one of the things we're clearing away the blocks, and then we'll be doing an activation to restore that, which I definitely can say you can do. So this is something that I did for myself, and you can do. And we all make choices. I think for many years I would just take lovers. I would just have a lover after lover, and they wouldn't end up being. They'd be boyfriends that would last for a while. But I came to a decision, probably. I guess it's been about 10 years now, that I wasn't going to be taking lovers like that. That I wanted somebody who was really in my life, and which meant that I had said I would date someone for at least 3 months before I made love to him. And I just haven't found someone that I thought would be someone I would want as my partner. I haven't magnetized my divine complement in, which has meant that even if I've been dating, I haven't been making love. And so the area wasn't tuned up. And, there's a little kind of old adage of, if you don't use it, you lose it. I don't think you have to, though. I think that when you do these kind of tune-ups, you can maintain that juiciness, and some self-stimulation is probably really, really a good idea. The body wants it, so I think that's all very direct. And essential oils for women, rose oil can help stimulate contractions. And so when I was doing deliveries of high-risk babies, and they were saying, okay, we're going to go for a C-section, I would use rose oil, a few drops of rose oil in almond oil mix on their belly, and then I'd do circular strokes and get the baby out so they didn't have to do a C-section. And the reason that would work is it causes the uterus to contract. Well, when you're having an orgasm, the uterus is contracting. So the use of rose oil mixed with like 4 drops of rose oil and a tablespoon of almond oil is a really nice, safe blend of oils for helping enhance your sexual experience. And, if you get high quality rose oil, essential oil, that's also food grade, meaning it's edible. So, if you're using that with your sweetheart, there's no problem if he, ingests it, is what I want to say. Okay, and so I've given a little bit of a very candid kind of talk, and that's the way this class is going to be. So we're going to just talk straight. Brita is saying, I want to feel vital, radiant, and pleasurable on every level, mind, body, and spirit. Appreciate you doing this for me. You're welcome. Okay, and then Cindy, I experienced abuse and rape in both areas, vaginal and anus, and would love to be free from it. Thank you so much for your help. Okay, and Cindy, You might also really appreciate this. This is going to really help. And I went into a great deal of detail, wrote kind of a chapter on that in your Divine Human Blueprint on coming back after, really terrible trauma. And that might also, in addition to this class, be wonderful for you. Also, healing from trauma and violence in your field and body would also be really good for you to take. Paula, I've noticed a huge lack of responsiveness. I don't feel anything anymore. I'm taking homeopathic estrogen and progesterone. Can you check if this is a good supplement for me? I'm sure that probably is going to be working for you. I think one of the things, ladies, we don't realize is that where the sexual pleasure comes from is a little bit of testosterone. And that's got to either come out of your ovaries or your adrenals. That's the two places I've seen where testosterone can come from. So you might want to just, set an intention and pump for more testosterone. The homeopathic estrogen, progesterone, is that good for you? Yeah, it's 70% good for you. 70%. So that's good. You might experiment and find something even better, but that looks like it's a start. I feel my sexual desire has diminished a lot in the past 5 to 10 years. Is this hormone related? Inevitably it is going to be. Also though, I think you want to look at what does a sexual relationship mean to you? And, for some women who have had men who have disappointed in numerous ways, that might mean just, another weight or another responsibility. I know when I kind of shut my doors, so to speak, and said, okay, that's enough. I had a partner, a Japanese doctor, pull out of our wedding arrangements a few weeks before we were getting married. And I'm glad that he did, because we weren't really syncing up really well. And I just said, I'm going to devote my life to my work, and I'm just going to stay away from getting enticed by yet another fella. So for me, it looked like problem energy, and I was clearing away. I didn't want to step back into problem energy, and that's at that time, that's what men look like. They look like problem energy. So you might also want to look at that as like, what does a relationship mean to you in the background, not in the, the idyllic, oh, I'd like this wonderful person who's I'm going to feel wonderful with. Not that one, but what's the running program of what you've always produced, what you've always gotten? So that might be part of it. But the reduction of testosterone, which usually happens, it's funny because ladies will tell me that they want the hormone tune-up, but they won't want their ovaries tuned up to more than 30% because they don't want to get their period again, and they don't want whatever. But understand that without the hormones, you may not have the stimulation that you want. So the progesterone, the estrogen, and especially the testosterone. And if you have strained adrenals, that's usually where the testosterone comes from. So if your adrenals are strained, then you're also, it's not going to produce testosterone. As a matter of fact, if you have adrenal failure, you have no testosterone in your body, meaning you'll have no sex drive in your body. So isn't that interesting? And it's psychological too. I think the other thing to do is to be thinking about, the joy that you can give and the joy that you can receive. And it's, also about being willing to communicate with your partner, if you're with a partner, and really being honest about, this feels good, this doesn't feel good. Kind of like being a kindergarten teacher to your sweetheart and showing him where things feel good. And I think it might feel good here. I know sometimes I've heard from fellas that they feel like, they can't compete with the vibrator. That they're not a vibrator. They can't compete with it. The vibrator is going to like be the all pleasure, the pleasure machine, and they are not that. So you want to really be praising and directing your fella, because they can do so much more than a vibrator can. A vibrator's a machine, doesn't give love. So yeah, okay. Um, Even with a vibrator, I cannot even consider having something in my house. It was horror. Huh. Okay, Cindy. I'm not sure if you had a bad experience with a vibrator, or if you're saying that you're traumatized so much sexually that anything representing sexual pleasure is frightening to you, because that's a pretty deep level of fear. If a vibrator is horror, if that frightens you. And then you probably want to do a very deep clearing on trauma. We've got this clearing dark energies. I think this is a good start. Okay, good. And Khalid Madonna, I've had, oops, oh, we lost it from the chat box. Hang on. You're going for it. Okay, your little munchkin is going for it here. Let's see here. That's a good girl. Okay, so Penny May, could it be fear of father when young, possibly from playing with self when small? There were fear with intimate makes me turn into extreme fear, unable to communicate with my partner, fright or flight experience. You might have to kind of really work on clearing the right permission and ability to be a woman, to have sexual feelings, to communicate about your sexual feelings. That might be a really excellent clearing for you. And then you have to look behind it, because I don't think that's uncommon to be afraid to tell your partner what you want or need and what that might mean. You might be rejected, or he might think that you're a slut, or there might be some kind of repercussion from that. So you wouldn't be when you'd be asking him, to help you, it would be, a conversation that you'd both be involved in. I want you to know what makes me feel really good, and I want to know what makes you feel really good. And I have had a really hard time communicating, so I'd like to, really share with you, and I just want to know that you're going to hold me and love me and respond kindly to me. So you want to be in agreement with your fella that he wants to know too. Yeah. Okay, B, I feel my sexual desire has diminished. Okay, I think I answered that one. Okay. And father, I answered that one. Even with a vibrator, I can't consider having something in my house. So that, I don't know how I got to the bottom here, but I guess I'm back here. I've had a lover for 5 years. We have amazing chemistry. We respect one another. I don't have a problem with juiciness, but I tear, not fun. A lover has been safe this way, and I can BW safe now, ready to fifth my real partner that matches my Vivi. Okay. Lots of typos in that one, but I think I get the gist. You're looking for a partner who matches your energy vibration. Is that it? And so the tear part, so you'd probably need juiciness. So we'll do regeneration. Maybe there's some, evil spirit curse on tightening up down there. I don't know. I missed it last year. Okay. I want to attract my divine complement and enjoy intimacy with him. Beautiful, Diane. And we start working on 7 stages of love tomorrow. So that's wonderful. The sex abuse was in the body before I came as a spirit into this body. So I don't have a remembrance consciously, but I can feel the pain in the body. I really want to clear it forever. I'm working for a long time to clear it, but wasn't able to clear it. And I think, Saval, that's probably just because of the walk-ins that we're clearing now. So I think walk-ins can hold the problem energy there. Would DHEA supplement be a good thing? Yes, for you, Paula, it would. I don't know for everybody on the call, but for you, yes. And dear Julie, what percentage is the testosterone coming from my adrenals? You mean how much testosterone that you need is in your body? And I can give you that one. I don't think you mean what percentage from the adrenals. You might, though. Do you have enough testosterone in your body for sexual pleasure? You have 30% of what you could have. So I think if you had, more testosterone, which we're going to be pumping up, that would help. Are my testosterone levels low, or is it progesterone, estrogen? Testosterone levels is about 30% for UB, and progesterone 50%, and estrogen and 80% on estrogen. So that's your test right now. AJ, is it possible to the menstruation start again after it has stopped for more than a year? To have. Yeah, it definitely is. Okay, yes, in both ways for Cindy. Anelli, I used to satisfy myself a lot as I couldn't get orgasm with a man. I think my sexual pictures that helped me reach orgasm during self-satisfaction were somewhat low vibratory. I stopped this because I felt it was wrong. I wondered if these pictures used to be induced by spiritual parasites. And that's from Anelli, and it can be, yes. So that's another thing where, you want to start really thinking about. I know I had someone on a call recently, and if you're on, I don't remember the name, but somebody's saying something about, I don't know, that and she didn't want romance, that she was only looking for pure love, and I was thinking that she was also saying that sexuality was beneath her. I could be wrong. But I find that you can begin and do a study on sexuality as a sacred expression and sacred connection. And you're going to come up with a lot of research on this, that tantric yoga, especially the organic stuff that comes out of India. I don't know about America. They kind of do their own little spin-off of it. But sacred sexuality is probably in most mystic religions, and it is considered access to the divine. And so when you start putting it in those terms, and you start looking for evidence, and you shift your mind to that, I think that you're going to find that relating to another sexually can be quite beautiful. I think the other thing is that men want you to take the lead and be teachers. And what they know, for the most part, is if they've learned something about sexuality, it's from personal experience and from pornography. So they don't know. I mean, you've got to kind of take them by the hand and say, hey, this is really very sacred to me. Men love the idea of being with a woman who stands in her divine self, or her goddess self, or however you want to call that, who claims that this is a gift from God, that Eve was given this gift, the gift of joy, the gift of pleasure, that we were meant to have pleasure, that we weren't meant to just have suffering, It was a very important part of how the body was wired, so that we had pleasure in the body on a regular basis. and that there was pleasure in lovemaking, meaning that we'd come back and do it often, so we'd procreate and have babies, right? So we have to kind of come back to the organic, why we were wired with it that way, but then also to know that if your body is meant to live hundreds of years, and we're as a group and a community working on reversing aging, then one of the things that we of course want is a youthful and a sexy body. I think I just noticed Netflix got that vampire, the one that the kids like so much. What's that one called? The vampire movie. Anyway, they're all young and sexy and attractive. So, young, sexy, and attractive vampires. And they live hundreds of years, So I think we don't have to, go for being vampires. We can just be young, sexy, and attractive and live hundreds of years. So, okay. Let's see where we're at with this clearing. Okay, it looks like we've gotten through. Fantastic. I just had that intuition that we were probably there. So the next thing we're going to do is start the regeneration of the sexual pleasure centers. So cell regeneration of the clitoris, G-spot, the internal lining of the vaginal wall, and restoring programs for orgasm. So we're just going to start doing the quantum pump. You can do the single quantum pump. And of course, some of you might also, I don't know, anal pleasure. So we can also, we can also work on that if that's something that you want to work on. But we're going to, these specific places where orgasm happens in the clitoris, the G-spot, and the internal lining of the vaginal wall, we're going to start cell regeneration on all of these areas. And Nellie, maybe I used to be immoral in some of my lifetimes. I don't think so, Nellie. I don't think so. I think you've got what you got, and sometimes it's from clan and family that those pictures come through. I wouldn't. I just don't get it. Diane, I want to be clear. I want to clear vows of chastity from past lives. Yeah, and I'll bet lots of people do. So, so you can. Let's see. We're going to do another clearing here. Let me just see what we're covering in the next one. Right, permission and ability to be juicy, receptive, in sexual intercourse, sexual stimulation, removing domination, suppression, and control. That's where you could pop in the removing vows of chastity. Let's see. We could put that right here. Okay, so we're doing regeneration. We're doing the regeneration right now, and everybody's just doing the quantum pump. Put some music on. We're going to do a little shift here on our end, and then we'll do some more Q&A. I'll just make Adelia a little happier. I'll be right back.
Okay, we're going to talk just a minute about cellular neogenesis and why and how the body regenerates. So first of all, we're working with the master cells, the stem cells that were with you from 7 days after conception. Those cells have all of the information for that area. In other words, how to create pleasure. So we're working with those master cells, and we're regenerating them. We're accessing the quantum field to rearrange the particles, and we're also accessing the information in the human blueprint that has the perfected cell. So if our cell is frozen or at 5 or 10% or 20%, the master cell, we're going to get the master cell up to 100%. And then from that, we're going to start a cascade of new cell growth. So that's a very simple explanation of cellular neogenesis. Oh, Sarah, she's just fussy today. I don't know why. Do you know why? You just don't know why. But anyway, okay. Do you want to try sitting in the swing for a little bit? Okay, let's try you in the swing again. There we go. There you go. In the swing a little bit. Yeah. Good girl. Do you want your blankie? Yeah, do you want your blankie? There we go. And your teddy, you want your teddy? Yeah. Is that nice? Maybe we can put one of these up for you.
Here, we'll put Mr. Bunny up there for you. Okay? Can we put Mr. Bunny up there for you? There you go, sweetie. Okay, it happens, right? All right, so we're doing the cellular neogenesis. We can actually go onto the website and look at, there's a page called Innovations on julierenee.com that gives the definitions of everything. So we'll go right onto that and just take a look. A second here, I'll just open that up. Look at the process that we're doing. Oh. It looks like our website isn't operating. There it goes. Okay, here we are. Okay, all right. So here on julierenee.com in About, under Innovations, you're going to see a really nice kind of glossary of all the different things that I've been able to bring in and define on the Human Blueprint. So revitalization of existing stem cells and the genesis of new stem cells. This technique uses the master cells. This is the original stem cell for the area being regenerated, and holds a great deal of information about how to grow new cells. Using the quantum field and a hand movement called the quantum pump, the stem cell is brought to 100%. Cell regeneration is brought about by activating the perfected master cell in the Human Blueprint, that then moving this cell into physical reality. For example, one might imagine it is a perfected cell is replacing the old unhealthy cell, or the master cell from the blueprint is taking form where no cell currently exists. So if you had some surgery in that area and the master cell might have been removed, we can bring that into reality. Medical documentation, regrowth of a failed adrenal, and new growth of a surgically removed colon. So, and you might like to check out this page because it's all the different things that I've helped define, and words that I've added to the dictionary. So kind of fun on innovations in the quantum field. Okay, and I can see that we are many questions going on. So hopefully I can get some of those answered for you. What percentage of what I require, excuse me, Christy, you're going to need to pump for testosterone. You need it. Everybody needs testosterone. I know people are saying, well, my adrenals are stressed. Then unstress them. Then work on, you know, we have the Fatigue to Fabulous. You have Skill, come into the classes, come into the Year of Miracles, wherever, and work on restoring your adrenals because you need testosterone. Testosterone gets you out of bed. It helps you be a businesswoman. It helps you be active. It's very much aligned with will. And it's kind of one of the key things involved with sexual pleasure, and is why you might have heard that they give Viagra to women, and they treat women with bioidentical testosterone to help get their sex drive up, because women need testosterone. We don't need it like men have it. You need testosterone for muscles. So if you're struggling with your weight, testosterone helps build muscle. Estrogen, progesterone help with fat. So not that it builds, you know, but it doesn't help with muscle. Estrogen and progesterone don't help with muscle. Everyone on this call needs testosterone. And if you have a good amount of testosterone, you have a good potential for a great deal of sexual pleasure. So you can pump to rebuild testosterone. Now, I know from what I speak about because I tested at one point, maybe 10, 12 years ago, a blood test saying I had zero testosterone in my body. Zero, because I had adrenal failure 13 years ago. And when the adrenals came back on partially, was before I was doing this work, they weren't producing testosterone at all. And I now have normal levels of testosterone. So you can bring back anything. It's your commitment and your desire to shift and change. I know I've been really looking at, oh, that's so sweet. She fell asleep. That's what she needed. She just needed to fall asleep. I'm so happy. You know, one of the reasons that I'm encouraging her immediately to do her own bed is that we just, even though I love holding her at night, I just adore it, I don't get enough sleep. And my adrenals definitely are taxed, and I feel kind of a vibration in my body of fatigue. And I'm just not going back there. So, so she's right next to me, and I'm telling her how much I love her. And, you know, I need my adrenals healthy for me. And I know that that's what I need. And so we're going to make sure that she is just totally loved and secure while I shift her out of the, you know, the circumstances we have. Whatever your circumstances are, if your adrenals are taxed, you can restore them. And part of it is you making a commitment to living a lifestyle where your adrenals are honored. You can turn off the bings, the buzzes, and the alarms. Can't turn off baby cries, though. So it's really nice to have a happy baby. So you need testosterone. You need testosterone. You need testosterone. So you're going to pump it up. You're going to test for it. You get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. You can keep pumping until I went from zero to normal. So I had a failed adrenals. Both of them were failed. At some point, I could no longer get out of bed. So that's not me anymore. I'm strong and vibrant, and I easily get out of bed. You need testosterone. You all need testosterone. Trinity Evil Spirit Curse is involved with much of what the problems are for females. As a matter of fact, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I didn't call it out and put it on the top of any of the clearings, but Evil Spirit Curse is often it's like a chastity belt of no feeling for women. So yes, Evil Spirit Curse is often, and a complex curse is often the problem. DHEA, yeah, can cause hair loss for some. There's another one that causes hair loss too. Will it cause hair loss for you? Yeah, I think it would, Paula. I guess I would stay away from it for that reason, because it's like a 50% yes. Either that, or see if you can clear that, the right permission and ability to enjoy taking DHEA supplement without hair loss, removing domination, suppression, and control, and just see if you can clear that and get a clear that you won't lose hair loss. You won't have hair loss. So you could try that too. Penny May, my partner isn't interested. Not sure if it's his issue as well or whether it's me. He doesn't see me that way. Can you check for me, please? Isn't interested in what? Sex? Is he interested in sex? And I guess you're asking about sex. That's my guess. And I think you're right. And how did you start out the relationship? Were you lovers to start out with? Because you could, start initiating something. You say, "Hey, I'm really interested in romance and sexuality, and it's our time to step into that." I mean, you could start initiating something like that. Rita, I have had a hysterectomy and am in older years, and in spite of hormone replacement, pleasure can be challenging. What specifically do I need to clear? Well, we're doing everything, honey, that we do need to clear. So I think the one thing I just encouraging all of you, once we clear all the blocks, you want to pump up your hormones, the testosterone. So I think that would be really helpful. Hmm. Receiving male energy and feeling like you're going to die. Well, I do see that a lifetime there was some kind of, I don't know that it was a rape, but some kind of intense male energy that caused death. So, yeah, it could be related to that. I'm having orgasms, but it's always really hard work and it takes so long that the men always have orgasms before me. It's frustrating. Is it possible to be in alignment? Yeah, it is. I think the one thing is to kind of relax about your body. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think that you can get your orgasm to come quicker. Um, I there's I get the hard part, and the hard part hopefully will be removed with all these blocks. Okay, Saval, I think that it will. And then it's relax and enjoy the process rather than hurry and get it over with. So I think, but I get if it's hard work, that's frustrating. And then I don't think it's all that necessary to have orgasms that happen at the same time. That rarely really happens in real life. I know it might happen in the movies, but um, I think enjoying each other's pleasure can be very wonderful and enjoyable. Jim, I just joined, was traveling for the last hour all the way from anymore. Is this hormone issue? Oh, sorry. Traveling, will I get the full benefit of the clearings? You will, Jim, but I recommend that you go back and do the first hour, obviously, because you're an hour after we started. So B, the sadness of infertility has definitely been a factor in my lack of joy in lovemaking now. Yeah, I think B, you need to uncollapse baby making and lovemaking. I mean, lovemaking is divine connection with your partner and allows God to come through you and him. And when you think about your space of being the goddess and him being able to come to the goddess and have the experience of the divine through making love, that gets to be a whole different issue than fertility. So. Yes, AJ, that is a hormone issue. Well, okay, so I'm thinking that we're getting to what's causing your struggles. Everybody, you're all asking me, is it a hormone issue? And I think I'm trying to show you, these are the things that need to be cleared, and we're clearing them, and then we're restoring this area. So, some of what's in chart 2, Jem, is what's causing the struggle for you to orgasm. So when we get to the second chart. Clear in this, but yeah, I get Penny May. I get that it will clear in this in this training. So I get a yes. Yeah, you're welcome. So we're working on the 100% master cell in these wonderful areas of the female baby making equipment right now. So that's what we're pumping on. We're about 70%. And while we're doing that, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about who you are. You are a divine being. You are a radiant being of light, but you are a goddess incarnate on the planet, meaning that you are a child of God and no less than the stars and the sun. You, in ancient tradition, to come to the female, to come to the priestess, which you are, meant that men or those coming to her could have access to the divine. That would be the way, where the Christian church has created that you go tell your sins to a priest in confession. How a man could have access to the divine was by seeking out the sexual connection with a priestess, and that would give him connection with the divine, and that meant divine pleasure. And if you begin to think of yourself as divine, as holy, as sacred, that what you bring and what you deliver and give is sacred, in whatever version it comes from you, sexual joy, sexual pleasure, you have to actually honor yourself, not look at yourself as, oh, it's frustrating and it takes too long and whatever. And I'm hoping that some of this is really going to clear, because we've given you things that in the both clearing charts that are amazing with the regeneration also. It should be really, really awesome. But also it's a mindset. Now, when I was years ago going to the Gnostic mystery school, they had sacred sexuality. That's a pre-Christian tradition. Jesus was taught from the mystic Gnostics, as well as the mystic Essenes and the mystic Jews. And the Gnostics believed in communion, body and blood, meaning the body being the semen and the blood meaning the menstrual blood, and that the mixing of body and blood was communion with the divine. Now, I know that's so far out and may freak you out, like, oh my God, what are you talking about? But when you start really looking at who you are, and then looking at all the levels of how sacredness shows up, and on the deepest and intimate levels, could you imagine being the sacred blood of the divine, representing the menstrual blood, but also just whatever liquids come out of you being the blood, and the body being the semen or the sperm, and that commingling in sexual intercourse is communion with the divine, coming together. And tantric sexuality also believes that we become divine as we move into our nature, which is this level of love, passion, divinity. And so sexuality becomes something beyond something just to have fun with, but it becomes something where it's a spiritual practice, or it becomes something that's incredible pleasure, intense, prolonged joy, hopefully for all of you eventually. And part of that is possible when you partner with somebody who's really your spiritual match, but much of it is possible because of who you believe you are. So if you believe that you are divine, that you are the goddess incarnate, that the goddess of you, the divinity of you comes through you. Maybe your high self becomes active. Maybe the part of you that's one with all goddesses on the planet that have ever been on the planet become activated. That, you know, the frequency of you in the pleasure field becomes activated. I think that's one of the ways. I've certainly had sexual experiences where I've had that oneness experience where everything falls away and we're part of a frequency or a vibration, and you're not seeing human beings, you're seeing, you know, this sparkly field of light. So whatever version you want to go to, whatever version you want to believe, I'm just planting the seed of knowing who you are as something extraordinary and beautiful and amazing and perfect, and that God didn't make a mistake. We're free. I always love doing the Illumination Love Wisdom Creed right at the beginning. We're free to release ourselves from any bonds we've worn as spiritual clothing that no longer resonate with our essence. So intend that today be the day that you become free. There's a lot of clearing here. There's a lot of deep clearing. If you look, I put in group mind, and I put in trauma, and I put in karma, which is past lives. So you intend that you get all of your past life stuff cleared today, and have it be possible in your mind that you live in this divine state of ecstasy. You know, that ecstasy is available to you at any time. When you want to turn it on, it's on, you know. I think that if you're in the struggle, and I want to validate that you have been in the struggle, and we've cleared a whole lot, and we're going to clear more after we get this regeneration done. We're going to clear more. So I get that you've been in a struggle. I get all of you, and I'm so happy that you came on this call. And how you step into the next space is both by clearing, regenerating, and activating the hormones, and believing that there's something magical, mystical, and empowering in your female baby making equipment, in your uterus, in your clitoris, in your G-spot. Something that in you that is the expression of God on the planet. That's why I do this. That's why I teach a class like this, because I want you to have that power. I want you to have that joy and ecstasy in your body. And whatever version, you have a small orgasm, if you have some fluids that you didn't have before, I want you to be thrilled. I want you to say, oh, it's coming, it's coming. It's getting better, and I can feel it, because you're going to open the door and give permission to yourself to have that extreme pleasure. And so many have put a container or a cap on the pleasure because, you know, they'd be considered a slut, or it would be dangerous, or men would reject them because they were having too much pleasure, you know, and all of that. So I understand that there are reasons why you put a cap on it. Time to take the cap off and partner with a divine complement, a soulmate. 5, 6, or 7 even a 4 would do it. In our 7 stages of love, 4, 5, 6, or 7 would all do it. So partnering with someone who enjoys your pleasure and enjoys, you know, being with you, and feels the presence of your divinity, your sacredness, what you bring forth. Okay, another little sermonette. But you've got to know that you are sacred divine, and that whatever is flowing through your loins and between your legs and your beautiful honey pot, and you know, it's the goddess of you. It's your power. It's where, you know, you really make the magic happen. Okay, I'm so excited and full of gratitude for this clearing. I have done a lot on my own healing, and I feel I've been guided with grace to you, Julie. My life is already changed and I'm more than happy. Wonderful, Colleen Madonna. Saval, I really would love to feel as a goddess, but I am only feeling myself frustrated, injured, and hurt. And Saval, I think I just want you to look at this. Frustration and crushed, are here and we're clearing them. So you have to be willing, really willing to clear them. Disappointed, resentment, we cleared them on an energetic level, but you have to be willing to also just say, okay, that's the end of it. So that's why they're there. Exactly why they're there. Grief, sorrow, distress, overwhelmed, lonely, frightened, down. They're all there. So we've cleared them. So now we have to consciously let go. I believe that lovemaking is a spiritual practice. This is big growth for me. As in the past, I would run or faint if someone even mentioned sex. So sweet, so grateful and happy. Thank you. You are welcome. Thank you, Julie Renee from AJ. I'm so grateful to be here. Anelli, Penny May, have we time to look at walk-ins in this class? Yes, and thank you. This is magnificent from Anne. Yes, I'm going to make sure that there are no walk-ins with the participants. Again, let's talk about, and let me just see where we're at with the regeneration. 98%, of course, talking about being a goddess really activates that regeneration. So we're at 98% on the regeneration. So we're just about there. We're going to look at the steps in regeneration, of course, mirroring the surrounding cells. And so we're going to be bringing in and activating all of the cells immediately. And then we're going to start a cascade of new cell growth. Then we're going to be going on to activating the juicy of you. And we'll be working on, for those of you who have the testosterone consideration, we'll do some pumping for testosterone. I'm going to show you how easy that is to do. And, we'll keep having this conversation. Oh, fantastic, Trinity. This class and discussion is bringing it all together for me for the first time. I feel so renewed and powerful in my goddessness. Wonderful. And Ellie, after the free love class, I started to clear negative thought forms that I have said about my husband and our relationship, and I believe it makes a big shift. It definitely does. Bringing typo. Fantastic. Fantastic for everyone. Yeah, let me talk to you a little bit more as we do that. Let me see, we're almost done, aren't we? 100%. Okay, we're at 100%. So the cascade of new cell growth is 60% started. So just another minute or two of pumping on the cascade of new cell growth. And then we're going to start this clearing. So I'm going to put this up even though we're pumping for the new cell growth. Oh yeah, now I remember what I wanted to talk to you about. So when we are really in our power as women, there are two ways we're in our power, and both are related to our sexuality. And one of them is in mother love, right? Have you seen, I've changed some, right? So you guys have watched me, and getting to be mommy to Adalia, to just keep flowing love to her and, being a response to her. That's a kind of power that comes with, there's a kind of power, goddess power that comes with mother love. Do you get that? And then there's another kind of power that comes from being a soulmate, divine complement, sweetheart, lover. When your lover is charmed and enchanted and you honor and respect him, where the dynamics are really working and you're happy sexually. And you can feel it. You can feel it. It's palpable in the room. When somebody walks in the room, and I'm going to say both because both of them work, and they're a different thing, but energetically things shift. When I had the baptism event here for Adelia, her reception, one of my girlfriends was bubbly looking at me, and she knew how happy I was, and she could feel the intensity of the love just radiating off of me. It's funny, Jennifer McLean said she feels it down in Southern California. She feels mother love all the way down there coming off of me. And so you walk in the room and like, wow, somebody's aligned with their divinity, right? Can you think about that when you've had somebody that's been in that really that joy space of being a mother, where it's really, really what they had wanted? And then also think about that when you've been in that space of somebody who, a woman who's really like, there's a kind of confidence and a power that comes off of her when she's really satisfied in her relationship, or she's really pleased sexually. Her partnership is honoring and delightful and joyful. And it's almost like there's a mischievous twinkle in her eye, right? I mean, think about that. Think about that. And what were we intended to feel when we were given that kind of joy or pleasure? And I'm going to say that motherhood is also, you're intended to feel an incredible amount of joy and pleasure in being a mother, as well as sexuality. Different pleasures, but pleasure, right? I mean, I know I hold her and look at her. She is so beautiful, and I just am overwhelmed with the honor and the joy and the thrill of being able to raise this little sweetheart, you know. Of course she has her stuff, you know, we all do. But there's, I just fall more and more in love with her as she's in my arms and rocking with her, and all the fun, you know. I just like, there's just, I call people shouting, oh my God, she's stepping her little Porsche. She's like walked 14 feet in her little Porsche. She's zooming across the room with her new big girl shoes. And it's just like this mommy pleasure is just like, oh my God, it's incredible. So that can be a kind of deep pleasure, right? The motherhood pleasure. Of course, breastfeeding can be incredible. I know women who have been orgasmic with breastfeeding. I used to be a La Leche League leader, and I was a leader in Minnesota, Iowa, and South Dakota. And that isn't so uncommon. So there's that pleasure too. Breast stimulation with the baby can cause a kind of an orgasm. So I just want to say we're wired for pleasure for both parenting, you know, a child, and also wired for pleasure in a huge way when it comes to sexuality. So owning that power, what I'd love for each of you, whether you're with a partner or not, is that there be a palpable shift in you, in your confidence, in your ownership of who you are. And then when you walk in the room, when you walk into the room to a party or an event or church, that people go, whoa, this woman's got it happening, because they feel something, they can't maybe put their finger on it, but you've got a sparkle, you've got a glow, you've got something present that is meant to be there. Isn't very, very often, you know, for most people. And I think one of the things you might want to be looking at if you want to maintain that sparkle and that inner confidence and glow is maybe not watch Netflix and TV too much, and, you know, watch things that, if you are watching something, watch something that's really uplifting, that, you know, it's singing and dancing, and, you know, something that's making your heart sing, so that you keep lifting your cells as much as you can, your frequency, to that higher frequency that aligns with, this is who I am, this is who I am, this is who I am. So you don't have to beat yourself down or surround yourself or feed yourself with low energy stuff. Feed yourself with goddess stuff. Maybe you get some rituals going where you read a beautiful book for a while on your sacred sexuality or something like that. Maybe you light a candle and you meditate on your sweetheart coming to you. Dance around the room. Sing songs that lift you. There's a song right now out in the Christian community, which brings tears to my eyes, about the good father, and that's who you are, and I'm loved by you completely and totally, and that's who I am. And every time, even like now, I think about it, and it's a very interesting, because you think about a divine, and you can have divinity be whatever you want it to be. And if you imagine that there is a Father God that loves you beyond what you could ever imagine, and that's who I am, and I'm going to claim that, I'm going to accept that I'm that loved, that just blows me away, because my human father was not that for me, right? But then you create a whole new blueprint for who men are to you. You know, when you now blast out, well, my father didn't really show up for me. He wasn't really honoring or cherishing or nurturing or whatever those things were. And so are you bringing that into your relationships? Or can you step completely out of that and see that men could also be that? Maybe not all of that hugeness of God, but in sexuality, they bring that God essence to them. And when we step into, when we own, when we accept, and when we look for that in our partner, that's what gets to come through. That's what I've been kind of percolating on and working on, is I knew that I wouldn't need to go on a big search, and I may at some point, for a divine complement. But what had to happen for me is my inner landscape of who men could be had to shift up. And who the original blueprint is my physical human father. And then a husband I married at 18 who was an abusive alcoholic. So those blueprints of, you know, getting very little, those blueprints are leaving me. And so I highly recommend listening to that song. I think it's called Good Father. I think you can find it on YouTube. It's free. You can just listen to it. I would play it here, but we'll get flagged by YouTube for playing some music that is sold on iTunes or whatever. So we can't play it, but it's called Good Father. And I just always, I get tears in my eyes thinking about how loved I am, and that I do have this good father. And I think we can't sometimes keep ourselves in a prison when we can't let our mind think something bigger than, well, this is what I've always experienced, so this is the little box I have to live in. And it's not the little box you have to live in. I promise you, it's not the little box you have to live in. Okay, lots of comments coming in. I'm going to put that clearing back up. I'm going to just double check to make sure that we've gotten everything regenerated. Regeneration started for every single person. Yes, 100% of people. Okay, there's two of you I'm going to work on a little bit because you're having trouble accepting the regeneration. It isn't that it didn't work, it's just that you're not accepting it all the way. So I'm going to work on two of you for a minute or two. I want everybody to kind of focus on and work on this clearing. You are using the quantum pump. You're using the quantum pump for this clearing. And for the one who asked, can we focus on walk-ins? Yes, in this later clearing, see there's walk-ins, permeations. I'll make sure that the walk-ins get out. But just for the moment, because I want to make sure that every single person gets 100% of the regeneration, I'm going to work with these two people And don't worry if it's you or not you. I don't need to have you ask that question. Just don't worry about it. Just relax. And two of you, I'm just upgrading so that you're at 100%. There was about a 30% resistance, so I'm working on that right now. Okay, everybody's got the regeneration. Okay, I'm going to look to see now everybody. There's about 20 students in the class today. I'm just going to look for any walk-ins that might be there. There's eight of you, let's see, 8 of you, 8 walk-ins. None of them are in the body, and none of them are in the aura. There's 8 in the field, which means we've done a lot of clearing out, and it's looking really good. Looking really, really good. I have said a couple of times, so I hope you're getting, just do the quantum pump. Yeah, and the regeneration, thank you. Could walk-ins or ghosts affect fertility? 100% yes, they definitely could be. 100% yes. It seems like a ghost could be affecting your fertility. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ghosts. 1, 2 in your body. 1, 2, 3 in your field. 3 in your body. 3 in your field. 2 in your aura, meaning that some of them are in your aura and field. So, yeah, it looks like you've got 5 total ghosts affecting your physical body, your aura, and your field. Wowzy, so happy. Did I have a walk-in my field? I would like to know. Thank you. You did, Kalina Madonna. I did not think about them being in the field. Yeah, Diane, and let me talk about that now for a minute because I'm pumping to clear that while you're pumping. So when we're looking at the field, she went back to sleep. Hey. So great to be a mommy. I just love it so much. Okay, so when we're looking at body, matter, the physical body, and then we're looking at the aura, which is part of the energetic body, and that's where they really show up in the aura. And then we're looking at the field. And in the human blueprint, we have a field, which is Genesis, embodiment, quantum, and amplification. There are 4 fields, right? There are those realms or fields. And we're looking at all of those. So it could be in Genesis, embodiment, quantum, or amplification. So all of those 4 fields. And that's where we're clearing from. Part of that is the quantum field. And of course, we've got that big looping field that comes out and does this cool spiral graph kind of thing out of our body and extends out our quantum field. But we're also looking at embodiment, and we're looking at amplification, and we're looking at Genesis. So all of that. You can pump to clear ghosts. Yes, B, you can. Penny May, would you just give it a try on testing to see if you can test? I understand that you might not be able to, but before you ask me the question, could you try and then say, I get 3, or I think maybe I have 3. Could you check for me? I'd really love for you to be trying to test, because you've been coming to me a while. And if you can't, it's okay, but try if you can. I wouldn't be a good mentor to you if I didn't encourage you to give it a try. So walk-ins are welcomed by us. I think everybody knows that now. We've talked about that quite a bit. So they show up like a spirit guide, more like an interference. However, if you have them in any part of you, they can own part of your body and prevent the regeneration from happening, or prevent the clearing from happening. So we've been on a rampage. Poor little Adelia and I have been clearing out walk-ins, angry walk-ins that have come after us, because I've cleared hundreds of them now, thousands probably. And we had 15 of them show up a couple days ago that I cleared out of our space. So she's very relaxed. Yeah, but we've been just kind of like realizing, oh my gosh, well, if that prevents people from getting full regeneration, and then they're saying, hey, I didn't get what you promised in the class, and it's a relationship they have with the spirit guide that's preventing them, I'm not up for that. So I'm gonna clear them, because everybody has the right, permission, and ability to own their body and to do whatever they want with their body. And sometimes it's a matter of learning how to let go and send them on their way. 4 ghosts. Okay, good job. So 4 ghosts, and you're asking about your field. And 4 that are affecting the field. That's correct, Penny May. So now what we look at, Penny May, is we look at overall, so the body, matter, and then we look at the aura, and then we look at the field. So let's look at all 3 of them and see if you have some ghosts that are affecting the whole kit and caboodle. And it's just 4. And then are any of those 4 affecting the body? 2. And are any of those ghosts affecting the aura? No. And 4 in the field. So two permeate both part of a field and your body. And then that gives us a clue. And I'm using this as a lesson for everybody. So, and then that gives us a clue to look in, are they in the field of embodiment? One of them is in the field of embodiment, because the embodiment is the relationship of spirit to body. So one of them is embodiment, and the other is in the quantum field. So there you go. So there's 4 total, 2 of them affecting the body, and then 1 affecting the field of embodiment, 1 quantum. So isn't that interesting? Yes. Okay, let's see where we're at on the clearing chart here. We're at 90% clear on this, right? Permission and ability to be juicy and receptive in sexual intercourse and sexual stimulation. Removing vows of chastity, domination, suppression, and control. Yeah, you can pump to clear. Penny, yes. Okay, and then is anybody, are any of you graduates from last year? Because these are actually new clearings that we're doing. Did any of you come in last year to do this class and are coming back for more? B, that's a yes. So well, if I clear the interferences from my quantum field, would this help to increase the effectiveness of my clearings and poppings? Oh, definitely, definitely would, Saval. Catherine is a yes, Anela, yes, and yes for AJ. Okay, good. So three of you, at least three of you, are coming back for something completely different, right? We're doing kind of the same topics, but it's just so interesting from year to year how our focus gets more expanded, and just today. And great for Joan. Fantastic. So it just keeps changing. So it's a new class. I did leave in slides from last year, so if we have time, we might do some love right clearings, and we might do some things that we did last year. There's a couple of things we can do. But these are more important. I would say that what we've covered this time is going to make a huge, huge difference. Should clear my field from Waljumbe daily. I don't know what that means, Colleen Madonna. Could you type it again? It's always good to do the meditations daily. So I think, you know, that does clear out the aura and the body. Walk-ins daily. Until you end your relationship with walk-ins, you should. But really, it's telling them, I no longer have an agreement with you. I am a sovereign spirit in body. You are not allowed in my body, my field, or my aura. And I'm ending the relationship with you. Thank you for helping me, but you got to go. And you say that every day as you clear them, so that you make sure that they are not welcome anymore. I cleared my quantum field often, but they always come back. Do I need to clear also the anchors? You can clear anchors, Saval, but this is an interesting question. Saval, I think you're asking about walk-ins, and walk-ins serve a purpose. And so one of the things that Saval was clearing was cycles, and I was hoping that might get you to the point where you weren't seeing them coming back. Do you have less of them coming back, the walk-in things? That would be interesting to know. Because it's the anchors for you, Saval, are agreements and roles that they play. And oftentimes the role they play is they feel an emotion, they respond in a particular way. So they're what steps in when you relinquish something that's too stressful for you to deal with, or it's what they always do. And so it's really a kind of a, how did I give up my space that much that something could own my space? And then it's really researching and finding out, what is it? Because they could be the response to your testing, you know, they could be something that you do in your mothering, or something you do with your husband, or something you do on the computer, or so. And the cycle thing you did clear, Saval. So the anchors, though, are the thing that you continue to do. I want you to look at black magic, so things you say about yourself that might not be moving you towards the positive. And I want to just validate how much you do and say that's wonderful. But look at any anchors of black magic that you do or say that would not be positive. And believe me, I'm guilty of negative black magic anchors. Unfortunately, I wish I weren't. I keep looking at more and more of the divine expression of myself and letting go of that. So we'll probably all have that going on. But that would be a place where maybe you could start fine-tuning and looking at, well, That could be where they anchor in on that one. So I don't know, but it feels like I was supposed to tell you that. So let's see if that helps. Well, I just explained that. Did you miss it, Colleen Madonna? So there's your body, and then there's the aura, which is the surrounding, energy. And then the fields in the blueprint, the fields are Genesis, embodiment, quantum, and amplification. So those are the supporting fields for your experience in the human blueprint and being a human being. So that's what it is. Okay. I cleared the quantum field often, but they always come back. Do I need to clear also the anchors? So Saval, maybe you could check on Genesis, embodiment, quantum, and amplification. Because if you clear in quantum, maybe they're in Genesis. Let's see. Genesis, they are in Genesis. They're not in embodiment. They're not in quantum. And they're not in amplification. They're in Genesis. So in the field, they're not in quantum anymore because you cleared them out. They're in Genesis. And let me just check for you, Saval. Matter, they do get into matter, your physical body and Genesis is where they're getting in. So then that's kind of a clue to Genesis is the regeneration or new life, which makes me think, and this, we're going to do a sleep class really soon, which makes me think, Saval, that how they're getting in it is when you're sleeping, because we regenerate when we sleep. So that it starts to kind of put together, if they come in Genesis, and Genesis happens when we're resting. So the regeneration of cells, that just naturally happens, not even cellular neogenesis, but just the natural Genesis happens in our sleep time. So, so that's an interesting thing to be looking at. So then it'd be right permission and ability to be entirely free of walk-ins, regardless of whether I'm sleeping or awake, removing domination, suppression, and control, and then looking to see if there are any other anchors or programs running that would keep that going. But that's what that looks like. And I am working on a advanced sleep class for that also. So where people have interferences that really get in when they're sleeping. So I'm working on that. We should have that coming up in the next few months. So, because I'm going to throw that in pretty quickly. So I'm not thinking that it's going to be a year off. I'm thinking that it might be in March or April. So just keep your eye open for that. Let me write a reminder to talk to my project manager about that too. So we get it on the schedule. The advanced interference sleep class or something like that. Okay. No, I don't test walk-ins anymore, but I had alien interferences in my quantum field. Okay, so that's where they were coming in then, Sabal. Good, I'm so glad you're not testing walk-ins. And that's where it looks like. Oh, that's fantastic that the walk-ins are gone. Yay, Sabal, I'm so happy. Okay, I haven't had a walk-in in my body. I feel, and I feel the change. Not sure about my field, how that feels, if they're in or not. Thanks. Learn more every time I'm with you. So thankful. Good. Well, you're going to just have to kind of, keep checking it out. It's so funny because I'm so sensitive now. Adelia, a couple days ago, she was up in the bedroom sleeping. In my bedroom sleeping, and she knows that what I do, what mommy does when I put her down is I, do wash the dishes and I wash clothes. And she, as a spirit, came down and said, I trust you. I know you're washing the dishes and washing clothes. I just wanted to look at you. So she, as a spirit, came down to check me out in the kitchen. I could feel her. I was like, oh, Dahlia's here. Like she just walked in as a grown-up, and I could just feel it was just adorable. I said, honey, go back to sleep. She's wandering around the house as a spirit. It was very cute. I haven't seen that again, but it was just something. She said, I trust you, mommy. What is the negative expression of black magic? Not clear to me. And that's Brita. Well, black magic in our, how we use it is what we say negatively about ourselves. So I can never lose weight. I just can't, I can't have an orgasm, or I'm so frustrated. Let's see, I'm so frustrated with my employees or whatever. You're speaking to the negative rather than speaking to the possibility of something better. So validating that there is something negative, yes, you can know that there's something you're shifting. But if you look to the positive and you go, I realize that this energy that is in me right now is actually helping me move towards something really great, and it's making me really excited. And so that would be a response to frustration. You could just like, wow, this energy is kind of getting me all kind of worked up to move into something much better. And you wouldn't have to validate, I'm frustrated. You could say, I'm feeling this churning energy that's moving me into the next level of full self-expression or joy or something like that. So you just, it's a sophistication. I think if you think about the law of attraction stuff, you're gonna be right on track with that. Let's see. Trinity, yes. Is it something you do? Probably something everybody does, Brita. And I get a yes. Trinity, yes to the sleep class. Thank you. Good. I definitely would love the sleep class. Thank you very much. Oh, good. Yes, it happens when I'm sleeping. Yes. Yes. Okay, great. So everybody's in line with that. Yeah, I feel very much, I'm listening to you guys. I'm also watching and I'm going, okay, we can fix that. But we need to do a little bit of research on how they get in and, you know, how they're anchoring in and what they're messing with when they're with you and sleep. And so anyway, I'm working on it. Okay. I think we're through with this one. It feels like we are. Yes. And all the walk-ins are out. I had cleared them. So those are done. And that's kind of the last slide. There were these couple slides that we had towards the end, love rights clearing. Now, you're going to get these clearings if you're in, how many of you are in the 7 stages of love? I hope you all are. So we're going to be doing the love rights on a very deep level. To be loved, to love, to exist, to feel feelings, to be magnetic to love, to experience pleasure with a partner, to experience fulfillment with a partner, have joy and pleasure, to be energized after an orgasm. And this was the clearings that I had set up last year. So you can see it's a much shorter list. But if you'd like to pump on that, you are so welcome to do that now. And then, like I said, I'm hoping that many of you will be coming into the 7 stages of love, if not all of you. 7 stages of love, everybody who studies with me should come into that class. Okay, very good. It's something I've been working on for 5 years, really defining love on an enlightened level. So where we start from organically and where we get to when we become enlightened masters. So anywhere from stage 4 to stage 7, based on your energetic frequency, are going to be where you're going to be shooting for your love match. But we clear so that you can have stage 7. So we clear all the way up to stage 7, but then you might want someone who's matching energetically. And if you're not an enlightened master yet, that's ready for when this life or another life, when you are ready, you're not going to have blocks to bringing that in. So we clear all the way up. Can I still sign up? Of course you can still sign up. Yes, please do. I'm not in the 7 stages of love. Well, get in. Trying to register for 7 stages of love. Haven't heard back over 4 days. So why would that be? Okay. Would you put up the link for 7 stages of love, Rebecca, so they can register? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Trinity's, thank you. I don't know why you wouldn't have heard back. You just click on the link and sign up. I test ghosts have moved out of my body, but still in my aura and field. She got a ghost in her body? Or B, I think you're just all cleaned up right now. I think you can relax. I don't get it in your aura or body. Did I have ghosts or walk-ins? Ghosts, walk-ins. You had walk-ins, but they're cleared out. No idea. I did the Simple Love package and I paid for it. Oh, okay. So you didn't get the class announcement? Is that it? Okay. Well, Trinity, write directly to Rebecca. She's on today, and she's on almost every day. But just send it to Rebecca, not to support, and that should get that worked out. Did we up our testosterone? And we did with the regeneration. We upped it about 70%. And then you can now, on a daily basis, you can just work on, if you want to, on your testosterone if you're not testing at 100%. Let me test myself. Am I 100%? 90. I'm 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 96%. Well, I probably don't need to work on myself on that one. But if your testosterone levels on a daily basis are somewhere, under that, and you want to just keep pumping until it's on a regular basis showing up as 100%, I'd highly recommend it. Oh, that's what happened. A typo in the email. That happens. For Colleen Madonna for testosterone. Okay, testosterone. Well, you're testing right at the moment for 70% because we pumped you up to 70%. So that's where you're at right now. Okay, my dears, unbelievable. Can you believe we finished? Let's just go through class announcements. We'll end with a blessing. You'll have this Clearing for Love Rights. I hope you all come into 7 Stages of Love. Really would love to see you all in that class. We are really encouraging, we're going to be certifying 150 quantum activation experts in 2017. Would love for you to be part of that. So please, if you have a strong interest, please, please, please join us. We really want you. We want the ones who really care, who are interested, who want to dive deep. Your Year of Miracles also is amazing. We're doing love and relationships this month, of course. Your Year of Miracles is 36 hours of regeneration and 52 weeks of miraculous support. So you really love that class. I know some of you are in that one. Upcoming 7 Stages of Love Karma Clearing, we started this week. End to Allergies, Technology Tune-Up, Designing Your DNA, Intuition, Inner Vision. Sexier Me was today. Erasing Female Infections, I think, is in a week or so. I Am Loved. And our free class in March is New Beginnings. And our Year of Miracles is Relationships. Okay, so we just speed through that. All right, my dears, I'm going to end with a blessing. I'll be on for a few minutes in the chat box. I love and appreciate you. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Murchormam Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. May the entire world and your life be filled with joy, juicy sexuality, and peace. Tatastu, so be it. I love you. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.